Welcome to another Midweek Memo. When I was a kid, I was a fanatic Duplo builder. One of my favorite activities was to get all the Duplo bricks that I owned and make something that included every single brick. It was great fun. Perhaps you remember those days yourself. Have you ever considered that church is building? I didn't say church is a building. I said church is building. We come to church to build one another up. In fact, the building is you and me, and funnily enough, you and me are also the builders. In 1 Corinthians 14, Paul says that everything should be done for building up. And the vision he gives is that we, as the members of the church, when we gather, and he's not just talking about Sunday mornings, but any time that we gather, we come together to build one another up. I to build you up, you to build me up. I wonder whether you think of gathering with the church like that. I wonder whether you think about your purpose as you come is to build someone else up, to build up your brothers and sisters up in faith. For some of us, that may be a very familiar notion. Perhaps you've seen that as your role for a long time. You are part of a small group, you have close Christian relationships, and you have the great privilege, and you love it, of building others up in faith. Perhaps it's a completely new idea to you. It's never occurred to you. I wonder whether you could think about approaching church in a new way, recognizing the Lord has given you the ability and distinct, unique gifts to build others up. One of the great ways of getting started in that is becoming part of a small group where you have that opportunity to build the relationships in which you can get to know one another and so really help and speak into one another's lives. And that leads me nicely on to a couple of notices. The first one is that this Tuesday is the third in our series, 6 Steps to Loving Your Church. And it's about exactly this, how we gather together to build one another up. If you're unfamiliar with a small group, this would be a great place to start to discover what that would be like. Do come and join us 8 p.m. on Tuesday in the church building. And the second thing to share with you is how we are responding as a church to the cost of living crisis. Now, we had a long discussion with the PCC on Monday evening, and work is ongoing to work out what we're going to do more broadly. But I'd love to share with you just one thing that we would like to do. We would love to put together a hardship fund that is going to enable people to give in a very specific and targeted way to support those who are going to struggle with their energy or heating bills this Christmas. If you'd like to hear more about that, we'll have a little bit more on Sunday morning, and do be looking out for further communication as the PCC develops what we can do to be able to support one another and also those in our community who are affected by these significant changes in our life as a nation and as a community. Thank you so much for joining us.